Hi, this is Ms. Paflin, and I will be going over numbers 11 through 14 in the E.O.C review. So for number 11, for the equation ax plus c equals bx plus d, where a cannot equal b and c cannot equal d, what is x expressed in terms of a, b, c, and d? Complete the expression for the value of x using the choices shown. Write the correct choice in each box. So right now, our expression has ax plus c equals bx plus d, but we need to get x equals, so we need to isolate x and solve for x. So ax plus c equals bx plus d. So I have x on both sides, so first I'm going to move my constant, my c value from this. So if it's plus c, I want to do the inverse, and I want to subtract c from both sides. So I'm going to do ax equals, because that cross cancels, bx plus d minus c. All right, then I want to get all of my x terms on one side of the equal sign. It's shown on the left side over here. So right now I have to move bx together because b times x is a term. So I have to do the opposite. So right now b times x is positive, so I'm going to subtract bx from both sides. And I get ax minus bx equals, this cancels out, d minus c. Now both terms have the variable x, so I can factor out that x, and if I essentially divide both terms by x, I can take it out on the outside. So I'm not dividing it by both sides, I'm just separating, so a times x minus b times x, so then I can do x times a minus b equals d minus c. Because if I factored it back in, if I multiplied or distribute it, x times a equals ax, and x times negative b would equal negative bx. So I just took it out to get it by itself. All right, let me rewrite my problem since I'm running out of space. Now I need to, again, isolate this x value. So if I have x times a minus b, the inverse would be divide a minus b to both sides. X equals, so these cross cancel, d minus c equal divided by a minus b. And now I have my answer. So d minus c is my numerator. So this would go in my numerator. And then a minus b is my denominator. So I get the value from here. And that is the answer. Number 12, a worker earned a 2% increase in her annual salary for each of the 4 years. She plans to continue working in her position for an additional N years. If she continues to earn a 2% increase in her salary, which statement describes the expression that can be used to calculate the total percent increase in her annual salary from the first year to the last year? Okay, so just taking some notes. First 4 years, she had an increase in her salary of 2%. We want to convert that to a decimal. So 2%, you would divide 2 divided by 100, or move the decimal 2 places to the left. So it would be 2 hundredths, 0.02. We also want to add that to her salary, which is 100%. Plus the 100%. If we convert 100% to a decimal, we move the decimal place to the left, plus 1. So 1 plus 0.02 equals 1.02, 1 and 2 hundredths. This is during the first 4 years. So each year it's increasing by 1.02. So we would show 1.02 times 1.02 times 1.02 times 1.02 for 4 years. So that equals 1.02 to the 4th power. Then it says, so that's the first 4 years. Then it also says that she plans to continue working for an additional N years. So if we know that she's earning that increase 1.02 or 1 and 200ths to the 4th power, that's the first 4 years. And then she's still going to continue earning that 2% increase for N years. We don't know how many more years she's working. So then we can use the rules of exponents. And if we have the same base, we add the exponents together. So it would be 1.02 to the 4 plus N power. And looking at the options, that would be letter C. Number 13, two real numbers are defined as A equals 0.44444 repeating decimal, and B equals 0.354355435554. Determine whether each number is rational or irrational. Is the product of A and B rational or irrational? Justify your answers. Enter your answers and your justifications in the box provided. So I already wrote this out, and I'm just going to show you my answer to save some time. But when we're looking at each number, A is a repeating decimal. So A is rational because it's a repeating decimal and can be represented by a fraction, 4/9. A rational number can be expressed as a ratio or a fraction of integers. So think of that prefix in rational, ratio. Ratio is a fraction. So a fraction includes repeating decimals. B is irrational because it's a non-repeating and non-terminating decimal. So it doesn't have a pattern, it repeats in, and it's never ending. That's what non-terminating means. It never ends, it goes on forever. And it's non-repeating. So this cannot be expressed as a ratio or a fraction. So irrational, it's not a ratio. Then for the second part, it says, is the product of A and B rational or irrational? A times B is irrational because anytime you multiply a number, rational or irrational, by an irrational number, the product will be irrational. So if you actually multiply this in the calculator, 4/9, which when you type it in the calculator would be 4 divided by 9, times, and then you type in the irrational number, you would get approximately 0.1574913, and it goes on forever. So that is an irrational number. Number 14. Gabriel operates a river boat and frequently offers tours of the river. Typically, a tour lasts for 3.25 hours. The riverboat usually takes 2 hours to make the 25-mile trip upstream from the dock and 1.25 hours to make the 25-mile return trip downstream. Gabriel is considering offering a shorter tour that will last 2.5 hours and travel only 20 miles upstream before returning. Will the shorter tour be possible if the riverboat travels at the same speed as it does in the 3.25-hour tour? Show your steps and justify your answer. Enter your answer, your work, and your justification in the box provided. So let's just start with the information provided. The tour is a total of 3.5 hours, and they're going 50 miles total. The first trip upstream is 2 hours to make the 25-mile trip upstream. So if we use X for hours, so we would have 2x equals 25, or X is miles per hour. So we would divide both sides by 2. X equals 12.5 miles per hour upstream. Then we want to find downstream, so let's use y for miles per hour, 1.25y, because it takes 1.25 hours to make the 25-mile trip, so it equals 25 miles. So we want to divide by 1.25 hours, y equals 20 miles per hour downstream. Now that we have the speeds, now we can compare how long it'll take for the new tour. The new tour is 2.5 hours at 40 miles distance total. And we need to answer, can we make it in the 2.5 hours? So to figure out our upstream, we know that it's going to have a 20-mile upstream, traveling 20 miles now. And if we divide that by the 12.5 miles per hour, we get 1.6 hours that it will take. And then for our downstream, we are now going 20 miles downstream at 20 miles per hour. That will take 1 hour. Then we need to add our total time, 1.6 hours plus 1 hour equals a total of 2.6 hours. Now, up above here, it's saying that he wants the tour to last 2.5 hours. We cannot make it. This is longer. So this is too long because 2.6 is greater than 2.5 hours. Thank you for your time. This concludes this video.